We're going to head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, just a quick comment. As a 50-year Browns fan, I suspect I will be in the minority with my thoughts that Deshaun Watson is now the face of the Cleveland Browns. After reading the Sports Illustrated article based on an interview with one of Watson's massage therapists, and significantly, one who is not part of the 22 civil lawsuits against him for sexual harassment and thus has no financial incentive to lie, it is clear his character is not one of integrity. I dare say that if Vladimir Putin was also a franchise caliber quarterback, Haslam and the Browns management would be willing to make him the face of the franchise. Thank you.
And as always, we appreciate the voicemail of Truth and Reason and our voicemailers. Kevin, I kind of said this, and I don't mean to be flippant with it. If Vladimir Putin was a franchise quarterback, would the Haslams be negotiating with him? They'd have to beat the Commanders, the Colts, the Saints, the Falcons, and anybody else who's trying to find a franchise quarterback as well. That's just the way that's the business.
That is the business, and that's kind of the business of the NFL, unfortunately. And I think we're at times, and people kind of use this on one side of the argument that, this is how the NFL is, that people turn a blind eye. And, if you have the talent, especially at the quarterback position, people are going to want you. The Browns had to compete with several teams still to get Deshaun Watson, even though the amount of teams for the talent that Deshaun Watson has was probably fewer than some would expect. They still had to compete against other teams and teams that were in a region that he was much more familiar with. So they really had to make a case, and they made him rethink those decisions. Now, in terms of the NFL and turning a blind eye, the Browns are not the only team that's ever done that, and they probably won't be the last. But I think that, the people that use that as an argument that it is the way that it is, and they're going to keep watching NFL football just because, that's just going to keep happening. I think there's conversations in moving forward that we also need to have about, it's not enough to just turn a blind eye. Sometimes we still need to look at it and look at the humanity and morality side of things. That still needs to come into the conversation about how the NFL deals with these things on a much more consistent and better scale moving forward. But of course, those conversations after we get through kind of what the Browns are going to be dealing with once they hopefully eventually bring Deshaun Watson out, or some of them get in front of a press conference in the media.